Good morning, grade 7 students. Welcome again to another day full of life and learning. I'm very pleased and happy to be with you because we're going to learn about English and have fun with science. Are you now ready to swim in the ocean of learning today? That is great. But before that, let's ask guidance from our Lord.
Dear God, we humbly ask for your guidance, wisdom, and understanding as we listen to our lesson for today. Keep us always safe from the pandemic, and may all the things that we say or do bring glory to you. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen.
It's really a brand new day for us. And we know that God is really good because He keeps us safe from this pandemic. And that's the thing we should be grateful of, right? So to keep our body healthy, let's have first a short exercise before proceeding to our new lesson today.
Sea animal dance. Today we're going to do a dance about sea animals. Oh, hi Victoria. Oh, hi Declan. Oh, he's looking sleepy. And so is Josh. Oh, Victoria, can you help them wake up? Let's all do a dance about sea animals together. It's easy and fun. Just follow Victoria. Clapping crabs, ready to go. Clapping this way. Crabs clapping that way. Crabs clapping this way. Crabs clapping that way. Dolphins diving this way. And that way. This way. And that way. Dolphins diving this way. And that way. This way. And that way. Seals swimming upstream and downstream. Upstream and downstream. Seals swimming upstream and downstream. Upstream and downstream. Lobsters looking near and far. Near and far. Swordfish shooting this way and that way. This way and that way.
Okay, let's have now our lesson for today. This morning, we're going to learn about linear text and non-linear text. But before that, let's have first our learning objectives for this morning. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to, number 1, differentiate linear and non-linear text. Number 2, you have to identify linear and non-linear text. And number 3, we have to transcode information from linear text to a non-linear text. And lastly, number 4, you're going to realize the importance of whales and sharks in marine ecosystem. And finally, let's have the first task this morning. This is what we call tell and spot. So you're going to spot the difference between the two pictures that I'm going to flash on the screen. Number 1 and the second one. Spot the difference between these two and tell something about it. What can you observe and notice on how data is presented? Can you tell me the answer? Yes. The first picture will tell us that the man is reading a book. Okay? And the second picture will tell us that a man is presenting the data through an organizer or a graph. Is your answer correct? That's good. And let's have the difference between a linear text and a non-linear text. A linear text is the usual and common printed text that we can read from a book or a paper, a newspaper, and this text should be read from beginning up to the end for us to understand the whole idea and or the story. On the other hand, non-linear texts are opposite of the linear text because it is non-linear and non-sequential, meaning to say we don't need to read from beginning up to the end just to understand the whole thought or the story because it is presented through visual presentations or graphs.
We have examples of linear text. We have novels and short stories, letters, textbooks, news reports, essays, and poems. And these examples of linear text are generally printed in form. Linear text consists of lengthy paragraphs and sentences. And we have examples of non-linear text. We have graphic organizer. A graphic organizer is a visual and graphic display that depicts the relationship between facts, terms, and/or ideas within a learning task. Next, we also have the flowchart. A flowchart is a type of diagram that represents a workflow or process. And then we have also the Venn diagram. A Venn diagram helps to visually represent the similarities and differences between two concepts. The two circles that overlap have a commonality, while circles that do not overlap do not share those traits. And we also have the concept map. Next, we have graphs. There are kinds of graphs. First, the pie graph, the line graph, the bar graph, and the pictograph.
Yoo-hoo! Are you still there? I hope you are, because we're going to have our second task this morning. You're going to identify if the text that will flash on the screen is a linear text or a non-linear text. Are you now ready? Let's do it! We already identified linear text and non-linear text and its examples. Now, we're going to transcode information from linear text to non-linear text. When we say transcode, we're going to convert the linear text or the printed text to another form, which is the non-linear text, using visual presentations. And there are many visual presentations or graphs, charts, diagrams, flowchart that we can use when we are transcoding information from linear text to non-linear text. And please note these following steps in transcoding information from linear text to non-linear text. Number 1, we have to read the text and get the main idea. Number 2, we have to extract necessary information for our visual presentation. Number 3, we have to remember to use only keywords and phrases in transcoding information from linear text to non-linear text. Number 4, we have to classify information in categories. And number 5, make sure to use appropriate and correct non-linear text to present the information that we have. And now, let's have an example in transcoding linear text to non-linear text. But before that, let's dive into the ocean to discover and know more about sharks and whales. Did you know sharks and whales, grade 7? Are you afraid of them? But let's find out what are they and their characteristics. Are you now ready?
Hello, wanna have a swim?
They glide through the water with unmistakable grace. Remnants of an ancient past, they dive and they rise from the ocean's murky depths to its sun-kissed shallows, rousing fear and awe like no other creature in the sea. The world's biggest living fish is a shark. Of the estimated 34,000 species of fish, the largest are whale sharks. These gentle giants usually grow to about 40 feet long and weigh an estimated 15 tons. Their mouths alone can span 4 feet wide. Throughout their lives, some species of shark can shed over 30,000 teeth. Unlike humans, who are born with a set number of teeth in their jaws, sharks have a seemingly limitless supply. They can grow, lose, and replace their teeth as needed. Furthermore, most sharks have multiple rows of teeth in their jaws. The jaws of a great white shark, the largest predatory fish in the sea, can contain up to 7 rows that hold up to 300 teeth at any one point. Most sharks, as they hunt their prey, end up losing their teeth individually. However, the cookie-cutter shark loses and replaces the teeth in its lower jaw all at once. Sharks are built for speed. The fastest known shark, the mako shark, can reach speeds of up to 46 miles per hour. This speed is largely due to their body's hydrodynamic design. Many sharks have torpedo-shaped heads that allow them to cut through the water with little resistance. Blue whales are the largest animals to have ever existed. As long as about 3 school buses and as heavy as 15, blue whales even outsize the dinosaurs. The whale's marine habitat contributes to their exceptional size. The ocean provides more room to grow and eliminates one of the factors that usually hinder animal size: gravity. Gravity limits the size of land animals to what their skeletons can support. The ocean's buoyancy spares marine mammals of this limitation, thereby allowing them to grow unlike any other animal. Blue whales have one of the loudest calls in the animal kingdom. Measuring up to 188 decibels, their song can be loud enough to overpower the sounds of jackhammers and jet engines. The whales use their powerful songs to communicate with each other, oftentimes from long distances. These vocalizations, which are deep moans and rhythmic low-frequency pulses, have been recorded from over 500 miles away.
Wow! That's interesting facts about whales and sharks. Let's now transcode information from linear text to nonlinear text. Again, let's consider the steps and questions that we need to answer in transcoding information from linear to nonlinear text. Sharks and whales are classic examples of 2 different animals revealing similar traits in the same environment. One of the similarities of these 2 marine animals is their habitat. They both live in a vast range of depth in their environment. They also have the same fin structure. They only have a single tail for propulsion, and because they are both large aquatic animals, they both consume large volume of food. However, sharks hunt for their food. Whales do not have this hunting tendency. Another difference of sharks to whales is their class. Whales are mammals, while sharks are fish, but they both live in the ocean. Also, whales have bones, while sharks only have cartilages. What is the main idea of the text? The main idea of the text is the first sentence in this paragraph that tells the general thought or idea of this paragraph or text. Sharks and whales are classic examples of 2 different animals revealing similar traits in the same environment. And the underlined phrases and highlighted words in red and blue are the necessary information about sharks and whales. Highlighted in violet are the keywords and phrases. We have similarities, habitat, vast range of depth, fin structure, single tail, large aquatic animals, consume large volume of food, hunt for their food, do not have this hunting tendency. Difference, mammals, fish, live in the ocean, bones, and cartilages. These are the keywords and phrases that can be used in transcoding this linear text to nonlinear text. Based on the details and information from this text, what are the two categories present? And the answer is similarities and differences. And what do you think is the most appropriate nonlinear text that should be used to present and show the similarities and differences of both sharks and whales? Should it be a graphic organizer, graphs, or a Venn diagram? What is your answer? If your answer is Venn diagram, then you are correct. We use Venn diagram in showing the similarities and differences of two things or concepts. The circles that overlap are the characteristics or traits that the two things have in common, and the circles that do not overlap are the differences between the two things. Now, let's go back to our text about whales and sharks. Let us now identify their similarities. We're going to put them in the overlapping part of the circles. We have they both live in vast range of depth, live in the ocean, and they also have both fin structure. They also have single tail, large aquatic animals, and they consume large volume of food. And let's put the differences between whales and sharks on the part that the circles do not overlap. Whales do not hunt food, while sharks hunt for their food. Whales are mammals, while sharks are fish. Whales have bones, while sharks have cartilages.
There you have it, an example of transcoding information from linear text to nonlinear text. We used Venn diagram in showing comparison and contrast or similarities and differences of both whales and sharks. Are you still afraid of them? Maybe you're still afraid because of the movies that we have watched of them eating humans. But did you know that sharks and whales are really important in marine ecosystem? Why? Because they maintain the species below them in the food chain, and they serve as an indicator for good ocean health.
They help remove the weak and the sick fish, as well as keeping the balance with competitors, helping to ensure species diversity. Marine diversity is defined as the variety of life forms distributed in the world's oceans and seas, which is enormous in number. What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a community of organisms along with the non-living components in the environment. These organisms interact with each other in a specific environment. Living things such as humans, animals, plants, and microorganisms live in an ecosystem. Now, let's dive in where sharks and whales live. There is a system in the ocean where plants and animals harmonically live in a place, and that is called marine ecosystem. The marine ecosystem or the ocean is an area of salty water that covers most of the Earth's surface. And there are millions of different plants and animals.
Do we use nonlinear text or linear text in our everyday lives? Yes. For example, we are going to do a presentation for our school project or output. We can use visual presentations like graphs, charts, tables, or diagrams for our teacher and classmates to understand it more. And did you know that everywhere we go, there are still non-linear texts that we can see? Like for example, when we go out of our house, the signs and symbols in the road signs and symbols can be of great help for us in keeping us safe from accidents or road accidents. And finally, for your performance task, I want you to create a pie graph that shows your daily routine consisting of the total number of hours that you allocate for your activities now that you are now homeschooling.
And please consider the criteria in doing your performance task. We have content 40% and correctness 60% for a total of 100%.
It's now time to say goodbye! This has been your beautiful teacher vlogger, Mom Leia.